When people buy a flight ticket, the most visible thing they imagine is the seat. A window seat, an aisle seat, maybe extra legroom, maybe the back of the aircraft or somewhere closer to the front. On the surface, the ticket looks like a simple exchange. Pay a price, get a seat, fly to a destination. But a flight ticket is not only a seat on a plane. It is a promise that an entire chain of things will be ready at the right time, in the right place, under the right rules, with enough safety margin for the journey to happen. That is why the price of a ticket can feel confusing. Two people can sit on the same aircraft, fly the same route, eat the same snack, land at the same time, and still pay very different prices. One passenger booked early, another booked late. One flew during a quiet season, another flew during a peak holiday. One bought a flexible ticket, another bought the most restricted fare. So the first useful shift is this. A flight ticket is not priced only by the physical seat. It is priced around the promise attached to that seat. Start with the aircraft itself. Before one passenger sits down, the airline needs an aircraft available for that route. That aircraft may be owned, leased, financed, scheduled, inspected, cleaned, fueled, and assigned to several journeys in one day. The ticket is connected to more than the cushion you sit on. It is connected to the cost of having the aircraft in the right city, at the right gate, at the right time, with enough working time left to operate the next flight. If one aircraft is delayed, the effect can move through the rest of the day. Then there is fuel. Fuel is one of the biggest realities behind air travel because an aircraft cannot simply carry unlimited fuel casually. It must carry what is needed for the route, the rules, the weather, alternates, reserves, and safety planning. Fuel also changes in price over time. When fuel becomes more expensive, airlines do not instantly redesign every aircraft or route, but the economics behind the ticket become heavier. The passenger sees a boarding pass. The airline sees distance, weight, routing, fuel burn, and uncertainty. A ticket also carries the cost of airports. The passenger may see an airport as a building they pass through before boarding. But from the airline's side, the airport is part of the service chain. Gates, runways, terminals, security areas, baggage facilities, air bridges, ground handling, parking positions, and air navigation services all have costs attached to them. A flight does not happen in empty space. It needs places to arrive, places to depart, and controlled movement on the ground and in the air. Behind the ticket is also the crew. A flight is not just an aircraft moving through the sky. It requires trained people who are qualified, scheduled, rested, briefed, and legally able to operate that journey. Pilots, cabin crew, dispatchers, maintenance teams, ground staff, baggage handlers, gate agents, and operations controllers all help turn a planned flight into a real one. The passenger may only interact with a few of them, but the ticket depends on many people doing their part correctly. Maintenance is another hidden part of the ticket. Aircraft are not treated like ordinary machines that simply run until something feels wrong. Commercial aviation depends on inspections, records, checks, repairs, approved parts, and maintenance planning. Some maintenance happens between flights. Some happens overnight. Some requires longer ground time. This is part of why the ticket is not just paying for movement. It is also paying into a culture of readiness, reliability, and safety discipline before the passenger ever boards. Safety rules are also built into the promise. A ticket is not just an invitation to sit in a metal tube and hope for the best. It is connected to layers of regulation, training, certification, operating procedures, inspection standards, emergency planning, weather decisions, crew limits, and aircraft performance rules. Most passengers do not see these layers because, when they work well, they feel invisible. But their invisibility is part of the point. The smoother the journey feels, the more hidden the discipline behind it becomes. Now the price becomes easier to understand. A ticket is not only a cost calculation, it is also a timing calculation. Airlines sell seats before they know exactly how full the flight will be, how demand will change, how competitors will price, how many passengers will book late, and how many seats should be held for people who need flexibility. This is why ticket prices can move. The seat may look identical, but the timing of the purchase changes the value of the promise. This is also why flexibility costs more. A restricted ticket is easier for the airline to plan around. A flexible ticket creates more uncertainty because the passenger may change plans, cancel, rebook, or need different treatment. That flexibility has value, and it also creates risk for the airline. So when two tickets are sold for the same flight, the difference may not be the seat itself. The difference may be the rules attached to the seat. The ticket also includes risk. Weather can change. Aircraft can be delayed. Crews can reach duty limits. Airports can become congested. A late arrival can affect the next departure. A flight may need more fuel than expected because of routing or conditions. A passenger sees one journey. The airline manages a chain of promises, and each promise has to fit inside a wider day of movement. Part of what you are buying is not only transportation, but a managed attempt to make that transportation happen reliably. This does not mean every ticket price feels fair to every passenger. It also does not mean every fee is easy to understand. Air travel pricing can still feel frustrating, especially when taxes, charges, baggage rules, seat selection, and fare restrictions are separated in different places. But the clearer way to understand the ticket is not to reduce it to one seat. The seat is the surface. Behind it is aircraft time, fuel, airports, crew, maintenance, safety, scheduling, demand, flexibility, and risk. So the next time you look at a flight ticket, it helps to read it differently. It is not just permission to sit in row 18. It is a condensed promise that a machine will be ready, a crew will be legal and prepared, an airport will support the movement, fuel will be planned, safety rules will be followed, and a route will be managed through uncertainty. The ticket looks small because it has to fit on a screen, but what it represents is much larger than the seat printed on it.